What's going on, guys? It's David.
And Wayne.
And Jason.
Welcome, Jason. How are you?
Good. Good to be here.
Another guest.
Glad to have you.
Awesome.
Another guest here today.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys asking me to be a part of this because
No problem.
I love
no
watching
problem.
your videos and stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Geeking out on guitar gear, and that's what we're here for.
Exactly.
So, awesome.
So what do you got for us today?
Well, when I was thinking about which guitar I was going to bring, I decided to bring this one, and it's actually the cheapest guitar I own, but it's pretty much the most interesting guitar I own too. It's extremely rare. It's an Epiphone SG Junior.
Okay.
And these were only made for pretty much, from what I understand, these were only made from 1997 to about 1998. Don't know why they haven't, they've released certain versions of it, but you're not going to find another Epiphone SG with a single P90 on it like that. I was lucky enough to pick this thing up for $89, which is really cool. Really cool find. This was a really good era too, so for all you guitar heads out there, if you ever see an Epiphone that has a Gibson logo on the truss rod cover, I found that they're a really good find.
Okay.
For Epiphones. I really do love them. So I had to put a little bit of work into it. Replaced the pickup. My good friend, Bill, my friend Bill.
Yep.
So replaced the pickup, replaced the nut, replaced the tuner. It made it into a guitar that I can gig with my.
I was just gonna ask you, running different tuners on that then?
Yeah. The only thing.
Tuners?
Yeah, Bill installed some tuners on there. He actually took these off of his Les Paul Special that he had.
Okay.
And put these on here, and I really like them. The only thing is it makes it a little bit top heavy because the older tuners were a lot lighter, but they work a lot better. It makes the sustain better, all that stuff.
I've always found with the SGs that they're always a little top heavy no matter what.
They are, and especially this one is, so I got to kind of watch it a little bit when I'm playing. And I think Bill might have talked about this when he brought his V in. One thing that's really cool about these that I've discovered about a one pickup guitar is all the magnetism seems to go to that pickup.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it just gives you something that the other guitars can't with a 2 or 3.
We found that out with David's too.
Yeah, the prototype is...
Yeah, exactly. It just
raunchy,
seems like it gets everything from the guitar into that. And so once I got this thing fixed up, I just could not believe it. And all my friends and bandmates and stuff, they're just really, really thrilled with the way it sounds and the way it rocks out and everything. It's very simple. One volume knob, one tone knob there. It's a bolt-on neck.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm holding that right there.
Yep.
That's a bolt-on neck, so it's not a set neck, so it is going to lack a little bit of the sustain. But like I said, these are really rare and they're really hard to find. I've been trying to find another one. I've only seen a couple pop up. I saw one online that's going for some people are asking as high as $200 to $225 for these because there's guys out there that are willing to pay, even though it's an entry level guitar in the 90s, they're willing to pay that because it's just for its rarity.
Yeah.
It's got a super thin neck, which is really cool. I really like that, and it was just a great find, and I want to find more. So if you guys ever find one, anybody, pick it up yourself or let me know because I want to buy it. I absolutely love these guitars.
Fretboard looks really good on that too. With the
and when going to replace the P90, I was gonna spend a lot of money and get like a Wolf Tone or a Seymour Duncan Antiquity, those kind of pickups. But Bill told me he really likes the GFS pickup, the Guitar Fetish pickups for the money. And I was like, what if I don't like it? And he's like, well, if you don't like it, we'll figure it out and I'll take it off your hands and you can get something else. So it's $35.
Oh, it's not bad.
Versus the $100 it's going to cost the Wolf Tone or the Seymour Duncan and all that.
Yeah.
So I took a gamble on it, and I'm so glad I did because it's the best P90 I've ever heard. I love the way this pickup sounds. It's so good. So
you said you're in a band. You're in 2 bands.
I'm in 2 bands. Yeah, I'm in Dirty Canteen. We're a cover band. We play mostly Wisconsin. We do a lot. We're a party band. I'm also in a band with Bill Barnett, who's done a video with you before.
Right.
He was with the
the yellow V.
Yep. We're in a band called Blind Robins, and that band is that's our baby because it's an original project. We do a few covers, but that band is a little bit more like my kind of style, raw rock and roll and blues and stuff like that. And I'm really enjoying it. And this is, I plugged this into my Marshall or my Gibson SG, but I got to tell you guys, and I love my Gibson SG. That is my workhorse. But this guitar I love just as much, and I use it just as much. So
You mainly gig with that with Dirty Canteen and Blind Robins, or just one of them?
I use both guitars.
Okay.
Yeah, for both bands. So maybe we should round something.
Yeah, you said, does that come in different colors too?
It does. The most common ones you're going to find are the black ones, but the main one they made, it was red and black, which is what I've been looking for. And I found them. They do pop up there. They're not impossible to find, but they're very rare.
Is it a red solid red, or is it trans? Or I mean sunburst.
I think it's a trans.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100. I've never actually seen one in person.
Okay.
So it's hard to tell because all the photos I've seen look quite different, and then it just says red in the thing. So I'm not sure. If I just by looking at it, I don't have the eyes.
It's not a burst finish though. It's just a solid.
Right. Yeah. It's it's just like a like a glossy kind of red with the the old school black pick guard, which is cool. I like that, the old 60s 61 style kind of like pick guard on it. These are just great guitars. This is black, red, and black, and I think there was a TV yellow too.
But that one's hard to find.
That one's even rarer to find. I've not yet seen one yet, and I could be wrong about that, but I have seen them out there. I don't know if that was like something someone repainted, but I have seen them out there. But the most ones you're going to find in this model are going to be the all solid black or the red and black.
Okay. I'll have to keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, you can find them. Like I said, there's some guys just asking too much for them. And there are, and to their credit, there's a lot of collectors out there who are willing to pay that money for these guitars. Me, I'd rather wait it out and try to find another one for like $89 and then take that extra $100.
Yeah, wait till it comes into a guitar store
and
or something
upgrade.
like that.
Some people might not even want to change the pickup. The pickup that came with this thing was actually not too bad. It was not too bad at all. Bill actually really likes those pickups a lot. I just felt for what I needed a little bit more output and a little bit more clarity, and that's what this gives me. So for me, that's what I did. But someone out there can probably pick one up for $80-$90, just put a new nut on it so it stays in tune a little better, and then you're fine.
Yeah, swap out your tuners to
swap out your tuners, anything like that, and you might be fine with that. So it's really kind of your own personal, preference on that.
Every guitar is their own.
Absolutely. This gets really cool. It's got the Junior on there. It's got the Gibson truss rod, and this thing play. I'm gonna turn it up here a little bit.
Yeah, let's hear how it sounds.
So it's got that, that good classic rock sound to it.
Yeah, bite to it. Yeah.
If I want to, ease up a little bit. Play a little cleaner, I can, but then I can do. It's very touch responsive, especially with the amp. So, it's a really great guitar. Great find, but very rare. Very rare. I've just found that that late 80s, late 90s era of the Epiphones were just great guitars for the money. Like I said, this was their intro level guitar of 97 to 98, and it blows away, in my opinion, the entry level of the Epiphone. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of the entry level Epiphones that are out there right now are really cool, especially with those if you modify them up. You've done that before. I've owned really expensive guitars in my life. I've owned middle range guitars. I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm finding the most joy, and Bill's kind of in the same way as I am with that now. Is it's so much more fun to find something unique and rare, and maybe soup it up to your liking, and I find more joy in that,
Well, it's always cool taking. I mean, I got a Epiphone Fat Strat 210.
Right.
And that's had it since that was my very first guitar. Played the living hell out of it, and ended up putting a BC Rich, the BSDM or BDSM bridge pickup in it, and thing sounds great.
Yeah,
and shockingly, it actually, Bill and Doc tuned it up for me, and they plays great.
Yeah, and that's the other huge thing I found too. And so many years, I think you and I might have been talking about this a while ago, where we went through an era of guitar playing in our life where we didn't understand the importance of a setup, and what a setup can do to a guitar, or a guitar not being set up could do to a guitar.
Right.
I remember being at friends' houses and playing like $2,000-$3,000 Strats that were terrible because they didn't get them set up, and I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know what that. I'm like, there's something wrong with this guitar. There's nothing wrong with it. Just needed to be adjusted, need to be set up. So, for all your guitar players out there, get your guitars set up as often as you possibly can.
And we found that out. One of the guitar stores, about a half hour south of here, they did a Conklin, a $3,000 Conklin Les Paul copy. Absolutely gorgeous. The whole the multi-wood body and the multi-wood fretboard, absolutely gorgeous. Asking like $3,500 for it, and it's like, man, I always wanted to play a Conklin. Absolutely amazing guitars.
Yeah,
I picked it up and it's like, it plays like crap.
yeah.
The string action was that high off the front.
Right.
Like, I don't like it.
Right.
And you sit down and you play the Suhr guitars or even a very middle to low end guitar that's been set up real good. It's like, man, what a difference it can make.
Yeah, we had a Tom Anderson in the shop the other day, and I've always loved Tom.
That thing was great.
Yeah, but when the guy first brought it in, it was really beat up, and Bill's like, yeah, it's a nice guitar. He got that thing set up, and he's like, dude, you gotta play this thing. Bill does Bill does great work. Take your guitars to Bill Barnett or Doc at Guitar Center, so do that. But yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this thing. It's got, I don't know if you can see that on there. It's got the vintage style knobs, which I really like. I'm really picky with volume knobs. I'm not a big fan of. I got a lot of friends who are really into like the witch hats knobs. That's just not me. But it's funny how all those different things are important to a guitar player, and what I like might not be what Dave likes, or what Wayne likes, or whatever.
Right.
And
each guitar player, along with their guitars, are going to mimic their own personality.
Right.
Like you said, you may like the vintage knobs, where another player may put the stainless steel knobs on them with the knurling on it.
Right.
Or whatever. Put an EMG in it.
Well, you could take 5 guitar players where I work, and we'll all argue over what our favorite strings are. That
sounds about right.
But that's the fun of it all. Is what makes you tick.
That was the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up. What strings are you using?
Okay, that's a good question. No, actually, truth be told, on these right now are Ernie balls.
Okay.
But I'm actually, and that's only because I'm going through my stock. I've recently, I bought them. I don't want to, I'm not going to waste them. I've really fallen in love with the Diodario NYXLs. They're
you were telling me about that. Yeah,
unbelievable. They're truly unbelievable. One day at the shop, Bill was setting up Epiphone Les Paul, and he's like, I'm like, that's an Epiphone Les Paul standard, like unmodified? He's like, yeah. He's like, play this. I'm like, the volume was almost twice as much.
Yeah.
And the feel was amazing. And the other thing about them is you can't break them. You cannot break them. I have them on my Kramer. I actually sat with my Kramer one day, and I'm bending the Floyd Rose back and forth. Probably doing more damage to the guitars than I am to strings. And I can't break the things, and they have better tuning efficiency.
Really?
They feel natural. I'm not a big coated string guy. I'm very traditional with my strings. I'm very picky about my strings. So to get me to change over to a different kind of string takes a something.
Yeah.
So those, if you haven't tried the Diodario NYXLs, I strongly recommend that you do. I have not had one customer complain about them yet. They're amazing. They don't break. They stay in tune, and they have a little bit more volume to them.
I wanted to try those on the Floyd guitars that I have.
Yeah, you definitely would love it.
Put them on the IB and wrench on the bridge a little bit and see if I can break them.
Stock piece on the back here. Bill's tried to talk me into changing it, but I'm happy with it. I like it.
I like it's got the screws in the back.
Yeah, I haven't had an issue with it, so I'm one of those people, if something's not broken, I don't try to fix it. So if and I actually heard Joe Bonamassa talk about that once. He's like, people feel like they automatically have to change their whatever on a guitar. I don't feel that way. I did it with this particular guitar because I felt it needed to be. But usually if you buy a guitar, there's a reason you bought that guitar.
Yep.
So if you're happy with the way it is, then just leave it alone. Don't touch it. I'm really glad I changed the pickup on here. I'm really glad that we changed the nut and the tuners. It's made a world of difference, and this has made this a gigging guitar that I can be proud of. That sounds awesome. I have more people that more of my friends want to talk about this guitar than any other guitar that I have owned or currently own.
You changed the nut. What kind of nut did you go to?
I know a lot of people like bone and nylon, and those are great. Those are fine. I've been hooked on these graphite nuts. They stay in perfect tune. They instantly change the tuning ability of any guitar I've ever played with. They're super cheap.
Okay.
They can give them like $5 or $6 for a Pro Line graphite nut, and they work awesome. I had a Telecaster a while ago that I modified up. I don't have it anymore. But Bill put one of those on there, and I just really liked it. And I actually like it than some of the more, the bone nuts I've had or the nylon nuts I've had on guitars. They work awesome. They work fine. Once again, if it isn't broken, I'm not going to try to go crazy with it. If I can get for a few bucks, I can make myself happy with a graphite nut. And then, like I said, these were Gibson tuners that were taken off a Gibson Special Les Paul. And this guitar is super light. The other thing that I don't know how I can show this here. Bill brought this up to me when I first bought it. Normally when you have a cheaper guitar, or like an Epiphone, or like an entry level, they're very bulky.
Right.
I don't know if that translates there, but it's pretty slim.
Right.
Like an SG you would want.
Right.
Yeah, like
in an SG
should.
So that's what really stood out was, wow, this thing is has that vintage slim kind of sexy Gibson look to it. Obviously with the bolt-on neck and stuff like that, it's gonna make a little cheaper guitar, but the neck is super thin, super fast. Plays really good. I can really dig into it. So it's just I can really get into it, and just super happy with this guitar. If you ever find these, look for the model. It actually says that there's a sticker on the back. It's called an Epiphone SG Junior. Okay, but if you're Googling stuff like that, be very careful, because if you just put in Epiphone SG Junior, there's a lot. They did make a lot of single pickup Epiphone SG Juniors with humbuckers. Okay, so you can find those. You can find.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit different. So make sure you look. It'll help if you type in G310 Junior. So G310 Junior. Good luck finding them. They are out there, but like I said, these were only made for 1 year, so they're pretty rare, and they're just awesome guitars. And I want to buy like 20 of them and just soup them up with whatever pickups, and because the thing with me is there's certain guitars I will not take out of the house that do not go to gigs with me. Mm-hmm. I've owned vintage guitars and and that's great to own those things, but. I'm not putting that in a cold pickup truck and driving 2 hours to Wisconsin and
caught in the rain.
I've had guitars ripped off. I've had guitars broken, and I'm just not going to take that risk anymore. And even though, I actually feel bad even about gigging this just because it's so rare. You know what I mean? If something does happen to this, it's not going to be easy for me to replace it.
No.
So...
We've all got those guitars that'll pretty much never see the light of day.
Right, yeah.
Never, no matter how. Unless you're moving to a different house, and then they'll see daylight. But
yeah,
other than that, they never see anything.
Stay-at-home guitars, probably like the Firebird or whatever.
Yeah. Studio, the recording and studio guitars that don't move.
Right, absolutely. So it would sound a little bit sharper if I had those NYXLs on here. But Ernie balls are fine too. I've broken a bunch of them, But if you're on a budget, you need some strings. I got no problem with Ernie balls. They kind of have like a dark thing to them too, that I kind of like.
I played Ernie ball for years.
It gives you that classic like. that awesome classic rock tone that I just totally crave and love.
Okay.
Pick one up.
And if you find two, you gotta tell them.
Yeah.
If you find two, definitely you gotta tell them.
And I appreciate you guys having me on too. I
No problem.
love geeking out on guitars, as you guys know. I love watching YouTube videos. I mean, I will spend hours just watching random YouTube videos of people doing exactly what we're doing right now and just talking about gear. My favorite part about being a musician is talking with my guitar friends about the gear. There's a lot of disappointment that comes with playing shows sometimes, where you can't really enjoy yourself in the moment because this doesn't sound the way you want to do or that or whatever. But I never am disappointed with going with my friends to guitar stores, or when you guys come in and just chatting with you guys and just having fun and making videos that people all around the world can see and share, and everyone can share their opinions and ideas and feelings about gear, and that's what I've always dreamt of doing. So
it's like the car nuts. You get a bunch of car nuts together, and all they do is talk cars.
Exactly.
All that.
Same thing.
It's always nice to run into somebody that's geeks out on gear as much as you do, and you start talking to them, and you sit down and think you're having a 5-minute conversation, and 3.5 hours later, and you're still talking guitars and gear with them.
Yeah. So Epiphone SG, super rare. You want one? Go get one. Good luck finding one. But they are out there. And there's other guitars too that are like that. They only make, I just, for me, it's like, I go to these jams, and I love Stratocasters. I played Strats for you. You love Strats.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Strats for over 20 years in Tellys, and that's fine. But it's like, I just want to, I don't want to be, Bill kind of touched on this when I believe in the video he did with you about kind of having your own identity,
right,
your own thing,
tone,
or whatever. Yep. And my thing is, I like to find cheap guitars and make them awesome. So I didn't do it. I didn't do the work. Bill did the work. So I'm not, I feel the need to specify that, or he's going to have a fit. Bill did the work on it. I am terrible at working on guitars. It's amazing. I can change my own strings sometimes. So I just play. So, but there's a certain joy that I've found in doing that, in taking these guitars and modifying them to what you want, or finding a cheap guitar and not modifying it if it's defined the way it is. You know, people think because I've spent $3,000, I automatically have an amazing guitar. I've played $3,000 guitars that I can't stand. I'm sure you have too. I'm sure
we all have. Yep.
So don't get lost in the price point of a guitar. David Gilmour said in an interview once, he's like, people ask me about my pedals a lot, and people ask me, well, how do I go about? He will go into a pawn shop, and this is David Gilmour. This is a guy who can play whatever he wants to play. If he sees a chorus pedal that is a no-name, $10, whatever, if he plugs it in, he likes it, it's going on his board. And he's David Gilmour. You know what I mean? So he can play what he wants, but he doesn't let that get in the way of understanding that there is gems out there for cheap that no one really knows about.
You got to let your ears make the decision, not not the dollar sign.
Right, exactly. And then so like even when I bring this guitar in the shop, everyone's just like, what is that? I've never seen an SG, an Epiphone SG look like that, because it's really rare. It's really rare. It plays awesome. And there was and I still think Epiphone makes great stuff for the I'm not ripping on their modern stuff at all. I think it's awesome. I love your Zakk Wylde guitar.
Yep.
I think that's a great guitar and a great example of that Epiphone is still doing that.
And you pick that thing up and it weighs 50 pounds.
Right. It's
nice,
a lot different than the weight on this guy. So there's a lot of great value out there, guitar players. Look for it. Find it. Decide for yourself. Don't let the price point decide for you.
Exactly.
It's kind of the lesson of the story here.
Well, I appreciate you coming out and bringing that and showing us.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
I appreciate you. It was an honor, guys. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I love to watch your guys' videos. When Bill came on and did his video, so I'm like, I'm going to do one too. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Keep on rocking and rolling.
Have a good one, guys.
EW Cover Project. Woo!
See you real soon.